Hey, welcome to my cozy corner of the internet that is Brooke Loves Knitting. I'm so glad you're here. I've got just a little bit of matcha left today, and I'm going to be diving into what my current works and projects are, some finished objects, and then I'm going to take you through a yarn tour as well because I've acquired a lot of yarn recently and I need to talk about it, so let's get going. If you're into all things creativity, crafting, yarn, knitting, please give me a subscribe. I would love to see you around more, and actually it would be incredibly meaningful for me if you commented what knitting you're working on below or anything you want to share about crafting creativity. Creating is not done in isolation, it is done in community, and it brings me so much joy to see everyone's comments, what they're working on, what they enjoyed from this video. Tell me anything about your week, your crafting. I love, love, love reading it. It makes my day. So, all right, hope to talk to you soon. Also, honorable mention that my local coffee shop makes an incredible cardamom house-made syrup, and I always get it in my matcha. But this summer I became kind of a connoisseur of making homemade syrups. So I made my own cardamom syrup last night when I meal prepped, and I added it to my matcha this morning that I made at home. Very good. It's very good. It's also incredibly cold in the Northeast right now. I live in New York State, and as I'll show you, there's literally like little icicles in my windows. It's like 3 degrees today. Yeah, it's not, I love winter, but this level of constant cold, not my favorite thing. But I have to say, I do love the coziness it promotes and how much it's just kind of like, I have to go home and knit because it's 3 degrees out, you know? So I've been getting a lot of crafting done, and let's talk about it. So first and foremost, as I've talked about in a couple videos now, I'm working on my Roomy Raglan. I've been keeping it in this bag that Monique Amy, who's a fantastic illustrator and knitter, makes these tote bags, and she custom embroidered it. It says Brooke Loves Knitting, and it is seriously my favorite project bag. It fits so much, and I love this little like pocket that it has, and I love that I got to purchase it from like a, not small artist as in she's not successful, she seems to be very successful, but like a small creator, right? Like not a huge store. And so it means a lot to me to have this little tote bag, and it is the perfect storage for my Roomy Raglan, which is really coming along. So I'm out of the yoke finally. However, I'm in a weird spot, you guys. Can you tell by how lumpy this is? I'm starting the part where you are integrating from the yoke, but you haven't split the sleeves yet, and you have to knit back and forth a couple of times. And I got really confused on if this was supposed to be German short rows or just literally knitting back and forth. And lucky for all of us working on a Roomy Raglan, Emmy Lucas, who has a fantastic YouTube channel as well as TikTok, is doing a knit along of the Roomy Raglan, and I was trying to get some questions answered the other day about this stage, and she had a whole video on it. So I'll pop that up here so you can follow along as well if you're knitting the Roomy Raglan. I'm loving how this is turning out. It's absolutely gorgeous. The yarn is Cascade Ecological Wool in their brown shade, which I think might be called Ebony, I'm forgetting. And then Woolstock Fibers Light. It's 2 yarns held double, knitting up absolutely gorgeously. It's so soft. I'm really hoping to be able to focus some time on this soon because I really want to be able to finish it and wear it while it's, 3 degrees out. However, I have some pending projects that we'll talk about in a minute that have more of a time deadline than this does, so this may be on hold for a little bit. So, back in the project bag, it goes with all its little strings. Okay, we love her, we'll come back to her. My next work in progress is this Sophie Scarf, which is knitting up beautifully. I'm holding it double with knitting for olive merino and knitting for olive mohair. And I think it's called Poppy Blue is the color. It's just this beautiful, beautiful blue color. I'm almost done, as you can see. This is gonna be a birthday gift for my friend next weekend. And so I had a little bit of a time crunch on this guy. I was trying to time how long it took me to knit this. And truth be told, I just found that to be incredibly tedious and stressful. And I was like, I'm not timing myself anymore. But I think so far probably been like approximately 2.5 hours to do this. So maybe a Sophie Scarf might be like a 3.5 hour project for me. And I will say part of that is that I've been knitting relatively slow on this because I've been trying to get the stitches to be really uniform because it's a gift. So I think I've mostly succeeded with that. Super happy with how it's coming out. Probably be able to finish this today and wash, block it, and it'll be ready to gift next weekend. So that's super exciting. Those are my 2 whips. I don't have anything else on my needles right now. I know that in my video where I was talking about my 2026 knitting goals, I was talking about wanting to become more of a non-monogamous knitter, having multiple whips at a time. And that is true. I still want to do more of that. And I'm also feeling like my brain finds that a little stressful because I have a hard time toggling between like, but if I'm working on this one isn't making any progress, you know? So I even though that's maybe a silly mentality because I've made way more progress by having, you know, one whip like my Roomy Raglan that's like, you know, 30-40% done than I would if I was just working on the Sophie Scarf. It's just how my brain works. I don't know. So I'm trying. I'm probably gonna cast on another project today, even if I don't finish the Sophie Scarf yet. Okay, let's talk about it. So I'm about to cast on 2 hats and boom bada boom. If you've been on my channel the past few videos, you know I finished this hat end of 2025, beginning of 2026, roughly. It's the Perfect Day Beanie by Kutavakika, Veronica Lindberg. And I just think it's the perfect hat. I know a lot of people are loving knitting the Oslo hat, and that was on my goals to knit an Oslo hat this year, but I just so fell in love with this beanie. I love it so much. I get so many compliments on it. And I'm just such a tourist that once I know I love something, I'm like, that's it for me. I'll only make that. And I'm sure I'll get to the Oslo hat one day, but I just loved knitting this. I just would say that I loved her. I went on a bit of a rabbit hole. I guess we're gonna combine yarn acquisitions with whips and all other stuff, but I went on a bit of a rabbit hole because I knit it in the Juniper Moon's Farm cotton and merino, and I ordered 3 more skeins of it, or 3 more balls of it, because I love this yarn Something Fierce. It's so soft, and I'm actually finding it to be much more durable than I thought it would be. I'm gonna just take a quick tangent here to say that with this matching ball, which is the colorway Chambray, it's number 5, I think I'm gonna make the Nola mittens with this to go with this hat, right? I just think that'd be a beautiful thing. And then these 2, I honestly just think I'm gonna make 2 more hats. I think they're really fun colors, they're really soft. This is not a huge priority for me to get to these hats. If I don't get to them until, you know, this summer for next winter, that's fine with me. But I did go ahead and purchase the yarn for them because I just couldn't resist. Now, back to what I'm about to cast on. My local coffee shop that makes the cardamom matcha, shout out to Cafe Margot in Goshen, New York. The owner, Kristen, is wonderful, and I was in there the other day. I was wearing this hat, and she asked me if she could purchase the yarn for me to make her friend a hat, and I said, sure. So we ended up going with the Barocco vintage yarn in this beautiful plum color. I got 2 skeins. It's probably overkill, but I always want to have more than enough yarn. Just, you know, by chance something goes wrong. This is 218 yards, so 1 should be plenty to knit the Perfect Day Beanie. I think you need 215 yards, but again, I just wanted to be safe. So this is gonna be the next thing I cast on because she wants to try and give it to her friend by Valentine's Day. And I said okay to that because I'm crazy. So I'm gonna try to get this done in 2 weeks while also trying to get another Perfect Day Beanie done in 2 weeks. That's right. That's right. If you're my boyfriend, you have to pretend you're not watching this right now because I'm gonna be making him for Valentine's Day a Perfect Day Beanie by holding these 2 together. I'm saying that wrong, but this is like the Eisger soft yarn. It's 56% alpaca and 44% cotton. And I got a couple of these because I just thought it was really similar looking to the cotton and merino, and it was beautiful. But then I got a comment on my recent video that I thought was pretty enlightening about using cotton and merino to make this hat, which is that considering there's so much cotton in this yarn, the blend is 70% cotton and 30% wool. This fellow knitter mentioned that it might not be as durable as if it was made with, you know, more of a percentage of merino. And I was like, wow, I wouldn't have thought of that. This is why I love getting comments on YouTube, because it's so helpful. And this is the community we're building, is of generous spirit and sharing. So what I did was I picked up a Malabrigo Rio, say that 10 times fast. I picked up the Malabrigo Rio's yarn, just in plain black. And I realized when I got home that it makes this yarn look a little bit more navy in comparison, but I do think together it will knit up to be a very soft yarn. And I did that because this doesn't have any wool in it. You know, it's just alpaca and cotton. And I don't know if alpaca can really be used interchangeably with wool for durability. And I just didn't want to take the risk, and I also thought it'd be a really kind of cool looking thing to hold them double. So that's the plan. That's what I'm gonna do. I acquired this beautiful Malabrigo Rio's yarn at a yarn store in Waldwick, New Jersey, called the Knit Tapestry. Knit Tapestry, it's like all one word. And what a fantastic store. The owner was there, she was lovely. The other people working there were lovely. They do lessons, and they had a crochet teacher there teaching crochet, and I just thought like what a great community hub this store was. So really glad I found this yarn there. So basically I'm gonna cast on this hat and this hat at the same time using the Perfect Day beanie, and praying that they turn out as lovely as this hat did, and we'll see about that. Speaking of local yarn shops, I found this yarn at an amazing yarn store in Cornwall, New York. It's just called the Cornwall Yarn Shop. The owner, Gail, was so lovely. And truly, if I owned a yarn store, I'd want it to be like this. There was yarn floor to ceiling in shelves. It was so majestic. It was 2 stories. She was helpful, but also just let me, you know, look through things. I feel like sometimes in yarn stores, they're really looking over your shoulder the whole time. And as kind of like a type B creative person, I need to just like have my process and like decide with my gut. Like I can't really like talk out my ideas as much with a person in live time. I need to just like feel, touch, visualize, look up patterns and make a decision that way. And I feel like she just let me have my process while also doing a couple helpful pointers. She was lovely. I did get this yarn for the hat project, but I also treated myself to something. And I want to be clear, I know what I'm showing now is a large yarn haul. I'm really not trying to promote like over consumerism with yarn, especially. I think it's great to like use your stash yarn and all of that. For me, I'm trying to be incredibly mindful of how I'm acquiring yarn, especially while I'm in school, and making sure I'm being realistic. But these were in her sale bin, and I figured they're gonna be the perfect thing to knit camisole number 10 with. And I'm actually super excited to knit with him now, and I got them for way cheaper than it would have been to order the recommended yarn. So I actually felt like it was a really good investment. This is the Woolfolk straw yarn, STRA. The colorway is a little bit more pink in person. It's showing up like pretty oat colored, but it's like oat with like a hint of warmth to it. It's their S2 color. 50% merino and 50% linen. And she had an example top knit up in this, and it was just so soft and did not feel heavy at all. So I know 50% merino garment I'm gonna wear in the spring and summer might be a little heavy, but honestly, the 50% linen is doing a lot to make this pattern feel breathable. And I just think it's gonna be a gorgeous top for spring and for fall. And if I don't wear it in the summer because it's too warm, that's okay with me. I know that the drape is gonna be gorgeous of this. So personally, for a couple dollars a skein, this felt like such a huge win. Last but not least, I do have a full bag of Drops Nepal in the shade 300, which is like a really nice oat color. It's showing up a little bit more gray in this light, but it's like an oatmeal color. And I'm really excited about this yarn. I did get it to make another step-by-step sweater, but now that I've been using my step-by-step sweater and I see that this yarn pills a lot, I almost think this is gonna be better doing something else with, so I'm open to ideas there. All right, thanks for sticking through my brief overview of my current whips. yarn acquisitions, what I'm gonna be casting on next. I'd love to know what's on your needles or what you'll be casting on in this depth of winter. And I hope you're staying warm. See you in the next vlog, guys.